Hey everyone, happy Sunday. I hope you had a good holiday. I know there were, I think, four holidays from four separate religious traditions all celebrating today. So, pretty cool. Happy tax day to the accountants out there tomorrow. And happy April to everyone else. I tried to make some videos earlier of some daily word games and they weren't good and I didn't want to subject you to horrible sound, horrible captures, horrible everything. It just isn't worth watching. So instead of spending hours attempting to edit bad footage that nobody wants to watch, I thought what I would do is make a spotlight video for this one particular game I really enjoy called Wordle Peaks. Wordle Peaks is a 5-letter word guessing game, just like many of the other Wordle variants. The difference is, instead of telling you either this letter is in the word or this letter is not in the word, it tells you the letter in this spot in the word is either higher or lower in the alphabet from what you guessed. And I just think that's a really interesting spin on the genre. And I also just enjoy the game in general. I enjoy the way it looks. I enjoy the way it plays. And I don't know, it appeals to me. People have preferences. This one is one of mine. Plus, the background is purple, and who could argue with that? So, I'm going to play a few rounds of this. This is not the daily. These are not spoilers. This is random mode. I'm going to play maybe 3 or 4 just to spotlight the game. And I'll be back to some dailies tomorrow, including a short with a special guest. So stay tuned for that. By the way, the nonsense from the 2 videos that I did attempt to make earlier, some of that might end up in a blooper reel. Some of it's kind of funny. So if you're interested in blooper reels, and really who isn't, if you join my Patreon at the $5 level, you will get to see footage no one else will ever see. I don't know if that's an enticement or not, but there it is. So let's play some Wordle Peaks. So with Wordle Peaks, it's generally, rather than starting with a word that has lots of common letters, like, I don't know, stare or adieu or whatever your preference is, it's best to start with a word where the most of the letters are sort of in the middle of the alphabet, because you're going to find, it's going to tell you either this letter is too low in the alphabet or this letter is too high in the alphabet. And so if you start with an A or a W, well, if it's not A, then it's definitely higher than A, so that doesn't tell you anything. And if you test, if you start with like a W or a Z, and it's not that, it's almost certainly lower in the alphabet, and again, you haven't really learned anything. So a good starting word for this is model, because it has an M, which is the very center of the alphabet. O is a central vowel. D is a little higher, a little closer to A in the alphabet, but that's okay. E is another fairly central vowel, and L is right before M. So we'll start there. And look at that, the E is actually placed. So green means that's the right letter. Now what this game does is it says, all right, the first letter of the word, the secret word, is between A and L in the alphabet. It's lower than M. So they give you the range here, A to L. And here they gray out the letters on the keyboard that you shouldn't use because they don't fit in the range. So I need to come up with a word where the first letter is lower than M, the second letter is lower than O, the third letter is higher than D, the fourth letter is E, and the fifth letter is higher than L. So, I could type in some random letters like, I don't know, D, E, P, E, M. That fits all the criteria, but that's not a word. So there's sort of the double challenge of picking a word that has letters that fit the rules. A good idea is usually to try to split the difference if you can. Since M is directly in the center, we're going to want a letter between A and L that's somewhere sort of in the middle of that range. So something like G, or even F, maybe F. Same thing here, we go a little higher, maybe I. Now there's a lot of letters higher than D, so what I want to do is I actually want to go over here and fill in these letters, and then pick a letter that'll fit here to make a word. How about finds? Ah, the I is correct. All right, that's good. So we want to go, okay, so now we have a very small range to choose from. We want between F and M, which is only G, H, I, J, K, and L. And we can rule out I immediately because there's not going to be 2 I's in a row. And here we need only between E and M. And here we need only between M and R. So it's higher than L and lower than S. How about L? L-I... F-E-R. Okay, the L was right. So now I have a very small range here. So what goes here? Maybe an N? Lichen? Maybe. And there it is. Lichen. That's an odd word. So they have a daily one, but I already did that for the day in my doomed video. So I'm going to do another random one. Why don't I start with the word? It's actually not a bad starting word. L and K and N are all fairly central. Oh, look at that. It even ends in N. Okay. So, how about R, E? I would lean toward an A because the pattern REA makes sense, but if it's not A, then I've learned nothing. So I'm going to do E again. No, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. It ends in N, so I'm going to need consonant, vowel, consonant probably. I'm thinking R is no good. Let's try SH. Ends in N. You know, I know the E isn't right, but I'm curious about the rest of the letters, so I'm going to put it there. So it's higher than S in the alphabet, so R wouldn't have been right anyway. Lower than H. Okay, now I have between E and K. T, A. I'm going to go to A, because even though I don't learn much from it, it's a good letter. T, A. Why am I having so much trouble with this? I'm having trouble thinking of a word that ends in N. I mind doing something like that, but maybe an I? Or like that. Odeon? Not a word. Oh, it's not higher in the alphabet than S anyway. The only vowel available here is an I. It's just getting me to think it's not necessarily a vowel. So if I put a G? Wagon. There we go. That was really the only thing it could be. All right, let's do one more. As I say, A isn't great, but it's kind of fun to start with the previous word, so I'm going to go low in the alphabet from W. D, I, D. Oh, it was A there. Okay. I thought that would be a bad idea, but it wasn't. I know repeating the N was silly, but I just needed a little bit of guidance. Okay. What am I doing? L-U-A? Stale fits. Oh, no, it doesn't. Interesting. Okay. Lower than S. Not E. Oh, wow. I didn't expect that to be right. All right, so there's 3. That should give you the idea of how to play it, and you can see it's so smooth. So I hope you enjoyed that, and please check out the game. I will post the link in the description, of course. And if you have the ability to contribute, this is open source, and all the links are on the page. So thanks very much, and have a great week.